it is just myself, Mechanical, tonight. Unfortunately, Scotty is unable to join me, but we are live at Monza. So the guys have already started to ready up. I was a little bit late just getting myself sorted out. So I will be just a moment until I've got sorted. I've just got to ping everyone the stream into the chat, and then I'm sorted. So we're just obviously waiting for everything to get loaded up. So this is a 5-lap sprint qualifying tonight, which is not the usual format, but it will be a 5-lap sprint and then the usual sprint, and then we'll do our usual short break, and then after that short break we'll be back for the feature race as well. So the 5-lap sprint will be replacing the short quali. The 25% race will be set by the finishing positions of the 5-lap race. The 50%, which will be the feature race tonight, will be a reverse top 10 from the 25% finishing positions. We do have a couple of penalties going into tonight, which will be RP Lai. He has a race ban from the sprint due to an incident in Australia, which means he will miss the 5-lap race and start at the back for the 25%. Joseph has a 5-place grid penalty, and Ryan will have a 3-place grid penalty. So there is going to be a few things going on there. So we are already underway, because of course this is a no formation lap 5-lap race, and that is a huge corner cut there from Error, and he's taken a 3-second time penalty for that as well. In fact, he's also DNF'd, so that is Error already out. So we've got Lewis leading from Jimmer, Connor, Mr. JC, Drew, Sir Jake, Mad Max, Angry Dutch Guy, Quick Killers. Joseph's just overtaken Ryan there as well. Blumchum, A. Riley, and then Grimmy right at the back. And of course everyone's, oh, that is Lewis, very wide. Oh, and he almost collects Jimmer on his way through as well. But I think he managed to just about keep it out of the wall. No, he has DNF'd. That looks like a on-track retirement. So, on to what's happening ahead then. So, A. Riley looks like he's just made a move, and he's looking out the back of Blumchum here. There's so many people making little moves, it's hard to keep up with everything. There's a little 4-way battle going on here between Sir Jake, Mad Max, Angry Dutch Guy, and Mr. JC. As Dutch Guy goes slightly wide there, and Jimmy sets the fastest lap. Of course, it's the first lap, so leading, he would set the fastest lap. And that's Quick Killers with a 3-second penalty for, I believe that was speeding in the pit lane. Oh, as Mr. JC's just lost it. So for those guys to be pitting in a 5-lapper, they must have taken some sort of damage. That's the only reason for a pit stop on a 5-lap race like this. Oh, that's a big corner cut there from Sir Jake as well. As we're on board with Joseph just then. So we've now got Jimmer, Connor, Drew, Angry Dutch Guy as the top 4. Followed by Mad Max, Sir Jake, Joseph, Blumchum, A. Riley, and Grimmy to round out the top 10, and they're all pretty close together. Although Connor does look like... Oh, Jim has lost it on the exit of Ascari, I think that is. That is the exit of Ascari. It's very, very easy to lose it there. So that is Jimmer out of the race. I wonder if he was going to blame that on Chelsea scoring tonight. He did say if he crashes, Chelsea scored. So we'll see what happens, but that does promote Connor now into the lead. And DRS is now enabled as well. So Joseph just made a move back there on Sir Jake as well. As we're on board with Angry Dutch Guy just chasing down Drew Cam. And Connor's now got quite an extensive lead as well. He's now up to 3.4, almost 3.5 seconds, which is a pretty good advantage to have. See how this plays out. Ooh, I did wonder whether Drew Cam was just going to sneak across in front of Angry Dutch Guy there, but he hasn't. He's left the room, and that is Angry Dutch Guy making his move, but they are too wide around Lesmos 1, and that is move done then for Angry Dutch Guy. These guys are all really close together. This is solid racing to stay this close and not have any incidents. And I think that is Joseph going for a move. He is. I know he thought the better of it there, otherwise he would have been hung around the outside of the first pot of Scary, and he wouldn't have wanted that. And now you've got Mad Max, he's sitting right on the back of Drew Cam. He's going to be looking for DRS, but Drew Cam's going to have DRS and Angry Dutch Guy, so we'll stay on board here with Mad Max and see if any of these guys can make a move. As Connor now sets the fastest lap, he's up to 5.6 second lead with these guys fighting for position. That is Drew Cam going for a move on Angry Dutch Guy, and he seems to have made it happen as Joseph comes alongside Mad Max as well. Oh, that was really close, but that was good racing from the both of them. As we seem to have a non-moving Ferrari. He must have just been really slow moving there through the first chicane. That was Grimmy. I didn't think he was moving then, so back on board with Angry Dutch Guy here. It looks like he's close enough to try and have another move on Drew. As they enter the next DRS zone, so there's a chance of a move here, but it's unlikely. This is not a very long DRS zone to be making moves on. You've got to be right on the gearbox of the guy ahead to think about a move. There's literally 5 or 6 cars in a train here, and anything can happen. In fact, I miscounted, there's actually 7 cars. And Connor's gap now is up to 6.5 seconds. He's flying around here. These guys just can't keep up with him all. Let's just sit on board with Angry Dutch Guy now, as he looks like he's going to go for that move back on Drew on the final lap as well. So has he timed these moves on each other to perfection here? Because if he has, he could hold this now for P2. So we've got Mad Max and Sir Jake there. Sir Jake was a bit slow getting out. Which looks like Blumchum's about to have a go at him as well. Now he's managed to hold off Blumchum there, so he's kept P6, but he did get very slow out of that last turn. So I'm just going to jump on board with Connor and see where he is. So he is heading towards Scary. Now you've got Joseph, who's made a move on Drew Cam already, and having a look at Angry Dutch Guy here. They're side by side on the way up to Scary. And that's Joseph through, so that is Joseph into P2. Connor's gap is now almost 7 seconds. So we'll just jump on board with Connor because he is about to finish in P1. And we'll have a little look back at what the other guys are doing. So that is Connor finished. The rest of the guys are just coming out of the last turn now. It doesn't look like there's going to be any moves made here as Joseph picks up fastest lap of 1:22.2. And that is everyone finished almost. So we've got Connor in P1, Joseph up 13 places in P2, Angry Dutch Guy up 9 places in P3, Drew Cam P4, Mad Max P5, Sir Jake P6, Blumchum P7, A Riley P8 and Grimmy P9, and then Mr JC will finish in P10 and Ryan will finish in P11. And that will be our starting grid for the 25% sprint race that we're about to have. So it will just take a moment or two for the guys to get everything set up ready for that. That's Connor then enjoying being on the top step. So, just to confirm then, we've got Connor in P1, Joseph with the fastest lap in P2, Angry Dutch Guy in P3, Drew Cam in P4, Mad Max P5, Sir Jake P6, Blumchum P7, A Riley P8, Grimmy P9, Mr JC P10, Ryan P11, and Quick Killers, Jimart, Lewis and Error all DNF'd. So they're just going to have to spend a couple of minutes now just getting the lobby set up and everyone into the right positions for the sprint race, which will be 25%. So we should see very shortly that the lap distance will change from 5 to the desired amount for the 25%. Guess would be 12, 13, 15 laps, something around about that sort of ballpark. I'm not sure offhand. I don't often do 25% races, so. And then of course after that everyone should start readying up. So we are just waiting for the lobby to be updated. I do believe we've got all the drivers, as Grim is overly eager there and already readied up. So unfortunately while they're doing that, there's not a lot I can really say. Because unfortunately being solo I can't really even ask my co-com any questions, as all the guys are starting to ready up but the lobby hasn't yet been changed. And there we go, there's the change. So it's 13 laps for the 25% sprint race. I was pretty good with my guess there. I said 12, 13, something like that. So everyone is starting to ready up, so we do have the timer counting down. So we do have a countdown and we should be getting underway very shortly, and the guys will just need to get their setup sorted out. If they don't, they're very, very silly, and I will laugh at them if they don't, because that's what I do as comms, is just laugh at people when they make mistakes. As we are waiting for Mr JC, who, if he doesn't select his tyres, will be removed from the lobby. but it doesn't look like it has been, so that's good. Can't be doing with waiting for people to rejoin us. So now we would just be waiting for people to sort out the race strategies and stuff, although it does appear somebody's read it up rather quickly. So again, we're on a countdown. We've got about 15 seconds and then we should be getting underway. So off the guys go on their formation lap. See what tyres people are on. So we've got Connor and Joseph P1, P2, Drew Cam P4, Mad Max P5, Sir Jake P6, A Riley P8, Mr JC in P10, Ryan in P11, Quick Killers in P12, Jimmer in P13, Lewis in P14 and RP Lion P16, all on the soft tyres. Then we got Error in P15, Grimmy in P9, Blumtom in P7 and Angry Dutch Guy in P3, all starting on the medium compound tyre. So there's some variation to the strategies that these guys are going for. So the guys are just coming up and around Ascari there, led by Connor. Whereas Jimmer has been disqualified as well. It's unusual for only one driver to be disqualified. So the guys are all getting gridded back up now, ready for the sprint race, which will be 13 laps, although the game's just decided that we were on lap 2 already. So if the game makes its mind up, we might actually get some common sense here. Terrible light, I can't see the lights, there they are, with all 5 lights on. Drew Cam drive through, and I think perhaps Joseph got one there as well. Yep, Joseph got a drive through and Drew Cam got a drive through, so both of those two just jumped the lights then. It was quite a wait for the lights to go out. The last thing you want to do is jump the lights like that, because now you've both got to serve a drive through, and unless there's a safety car, you've just cost yourself 20 seconds for nothing at all, really. Absolutely nothing. So nobody seems to be making very early moves then. RP Lai has made quite a few moves saying that. He's up a few positions, so is Lewis, and with the guys below them going the other way. And Drew Cam lost out quite a few places. For the majority, everyone is roughly where they started. Ryan looks to be trying to make a move back on Quick Killer there, who just made a move on him. Oh, that was a lot of curb through Ascari there from Ryan. He didn't want to do that. Oh, he way out onto the gravel there, so that's going to cost him now. I was trying to jump on board with Jimmer, who was just making a move on him, but unfortunately he made it just as I jumped on board. So that is Joseph into the pits to take his drive through. That's going to, of course, drop him way down the order now. So is Drew. Drew's dropped in as well behind him. So, and then we've got Ryan coming in as well. He's lost an end plate on his right side, so he's had to make an early stop now and put in on the medium tyres, as we have Blumchum going the wrong way. And that's because he's off on the grass in the middle of the chicane. It happens. Unfortunately, I missed how that happened, but Connor's already pulled out a 1.2 second lead over Sir Jake, which is enough for him not to be inside that DRS window. So he's going to be nice and safe in the front, as is Sir Jake from Angry Dutch Guy, who's got a 1.4 second lead. So the first driver under threat will be Angry Dutch Guy once this DRS goes active, as it stands. That was a good line for Ascari. It's a very tricky combination of turns, Ascari. As we've lost Jimmer again. And is that in the same place? It is. He dropped it on the back end of Ascari again. And that is a virtual safety car. As Sir Jake and Mad Max decide to drop into the pits. Alexander, yes, this is the 25% race. So this is the sprint race. It will be 13 laps, and we are now under a virtual safety car, as a bunch of drivers have just dropped in for tyres. So Sir Jake, Mad Max have both gone on to the mediums. Grimmy's gone on to the softs. Quick Killers has gone on to the mediums. Error's gone on to the soft. Joseph's gone on to the mediums. So they're all making really early pit stops here. But with it being such a short race, this is probably the easiest time to make that stop, because either set of those tyres should last the duration. Yep, no problem. The 50% race, Alex, will be after this, so probably in around 20 minutes or so, I would expect, given that we'll have a little bit of a break in between as well. It'll be 20 to 25 minutes. So let's see who is close, as DRS is now enabled as well. And that was a bit late telling me that, because I'm sure it should have been activated at the start of the lap. So I think Mr. JC is the only one within a second right now. I know Joseph is further back there as well. So we'll drop back and see what Joseph's doing here. He's having a run at the back of Ryan, but he's not close enough. But if he gets a good line here through Ascari, he can have another run under the next DRS going up the pit straight. He is within 3.5 tenths at the minute and closing. So if he gets a good run out of here, oh, we got a little bit of a opposite flick there that he had to do, so that might have just cost him his chance of a run there at Ryan. He is getting closer and closer. Oh, I thought he was going to just brake a little bit later than that, but he chose not to, played it safe. Good choice. Let's see, so RP lies actually up from the back of the grid, P5, and he's having a run here at the back of Lewis as well as they head into Ascari. He's had to hold out, stay behind him for now. Again, that was good driving, because that could have gone very, very wrong if he'd have tried to force a move into Ascari. So let's just jump back on board and see what Joseph's doing. Is he's now hitting the DRS zone as well, so he could have another run here at Ryan. Again, he's just not managing to get close enough, as we do have a yellow flag in sector 3. That is Error out, and is that another one? That is on the outside of the exit of Ascari. That's an odd place to lose it, but we do now have a full course safety car, which is not good for Connor, because he has got a 4.6 second lead currently, which is about to be reduced to nothing, and he hasn't yet made his stop either. So we've still got Connor, Angry Dutch Guy, A. Riley, RP Lai, Lewis, Blumchum and Mr. JC all have to make their stops. But we do have Quick Killers, Ryan and Drew Cam also dropping into the pits. So I wonder if they are going for a fresh set of softs. They're not. They're going... Well, Quick Killers has gone mediums. Ryan and Drew Cam have gone softs, but that could be their stops that they needed to make anyway, as Mr. JC's lost it. Yeah, Alex, it is very bad for Connor, because Connor had such a good gap and he was flying, as that is Mr. JC out because he's just lost it at Lesmo 1. So that was because he didn't let his tyres cool down after his last little spin that he'd had. So that was a poor choice. But we are now down to 13 drivers. So we have Connor, Angry Dutch Guy, A. Riley and RP Light all in the pits. As Connor is going to come out ahead on the fresh mediums, but that means he's going to have Angry Dutch Guy behind him on the fresh softs. A. Riley's gone onto the mediums, Lewis will go onto the mediums, RP Lies on the mediums as well. Blumchum's come in, he's going onto the softs. So Jake is in the pits as well. He'll probably be chucking on softs. He only came in a couple of laps ago, but he's decided to come back in fresh softs anyway. Give up track position for the faster compound of tyre. So most of these guys out there now are on fresh or almost fresh tyres. And we still have Connor leading from Angry Dutch Guy, A. Riley, Mad Max, Grimmy, RP Lie, Lewis, Blumchum, Joseph, Sir Jake, Quick Killers, Ryan and Drew Cam. So we've just got to wait for Drew Cam to catch up with the safety car before the safety car will come back in. So this unfortunately is mostly just the waiting game. Waiting for everyone to get all caught up again. So of course this is playing right into Dutch Guy's hands, because he is now on the fresh, faster compound of soft tyre, whereas Connor, who went for the faster compound of tyre to begin with, is now going to be on the slower medium compound. Now, but there isn't a huge difference between the two, so he may be able to find some way of keeping Angry Dutch Guy behind him, or at least maybe overtake him under DRS. So it's not all over for Connor, but this sure as hell hasn't helped him. On the flip side of that, the people it has helped is the likes of Drew Cam, who picked up that early drive-through penalty. So he's going to be right back in the mix again. As we will have one more lap, because he's just about to cross the stop-finish line as the safety car now goes into turns 1 and 2. So hopefully this will be the last lap of safety car and we can get back underway for the last 5 laps of racing. So that is everyone all caught back up again now then. So we're just going to have to wait for this safety car to come in. Hopefully it should give us some indication of when it's coming in around about Ascari. Unless the game does what the game's been doing lately and wait until the very last second to tell us it's coming in. Which means it will tell us around about the DRS activation zone in Sector 3. But it should, because everyone's all nicely bunched up now, it should tell us perhaps at the other end of this DRS zone. Just as it enters Ascari, hopefully. Because there's no reason for it to be out there anymore. So Connor does seem to be backing off it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly possible, Alex, as we do have the safety car in this lap, so there's a possibility that A. Riley could fight for P1, but he is on the fresh mediums the same as Connor, so I think this really is Angry Dutch Guys to run with, because he can throw laps on those tyres like it's a qualifying session. Whereas the other guys, then they can do the same thing, but they're just not going to have the same grip levels because they're on the slower compound. So I mean, for me, I think this is Angry Dutch Guys to go on and win now. Yeah, that's it, Alex. That's what I mean, because he's on the faster tyre compound. I do think that it's Angry Dutch Guys to win now. But I do think Connor and A. Riley will be up there on the podium as well if they can hold off the guys behind them. It looks like a bit of lag there from A. Riley saying that. As Grimmy and RP Liar switching positions there. As they're having a little fight for P5 and 6. As RP Liar now loses that to Lewis as well. So what is going on back there? And Blumchum's going around the outside of it. This is going to be two abreast into the chicane as, oh, both of them take opposite sides of the curb and take a lot of curb as well. As we do have a yellow flag sector 2, and that is Blumchum facing the wrong way. That looked like it might have been that he took a lot of curb on the way into that chicane at turn 4 and 5, I believe it is. So that is effectively Blumchum's race now over. That is unfortunate for him, but Grimmy here on the back of Mad Max, and Angry Dutch Guy is staying within half a second of Connor, but he's not yet managed to make a move on him. And the other guys behind them are dropping back second and a half to 2 seconds. And the leaders are just pulling away right now. See if Grimmy can go for a move here on Mad Max. He is. He's very much alongside now. If he can slow himself down in time. Yeah, and Mad Max wasn't on the inside of him there, so that is move done as Lewis thinks about a move on Mad Max as well. With RP Live right on his gearbox. Just keep an eye on that time with Angry Dutch Guy as well. He brought it down then to about 3/10. As Lewis goes for a really bold move. That could have been disastrous. I think he almost carried himself into Mad Max there as well, as Mad Max has now lost a bunch of places. As we do have a yellow flag sector 2. So maybe Blumchum there's just chucked on some new tyres and thinking fastest lap there, because that's a fresh set of soft. So that is a full course safety car now as well, because on the exit of Lesmo 1 we seem to have lost Ryan, and we aren't going to be able to see it now on with Blumchum because he's too far back. It does appear to have just had to slow down for his own delta. So we are back under safety car conditions, and so far so good for Connor. He's managed to hold off Angry Dutch Guy, but again it's not going to help him in this safety car. I mean, yes, it keeps him ahead for another lap or two. We had just entered lap 10, so there's 4 more laps of racing to go, and the safety car's probably only going to stay out for 1 or maybe 2 of them. Oh, as Connor loses it. And Angry Dutch Guy does now go into the lead, with A. Riley and Grimmy backing off there to allow Connor to get back on track correctly. So unfortunately there, Connor did lose it, and that has given Angry Dutch Guy the lead now. That is very, very unfortunate. But Connor did say after his run with the 5-lapper and winning that, he's probably going to bottle this one. So that is very unfortunate. But he's still well in line for a podium here, and a podium's still a great way to finish a race. And I do hope this safety car is going to be in rather quickly. No sign of it coming in yet, so we must be getting another lap then, because we are still waiting for Blumchum and Drewcam to catch up. And I do believe Drewcam actually did the same as Blumchum and pitted for a fresh set of soft tyres. He did. Let's just have a look at positional change. So far, RP Lai is up the most places, followed by Lewis, so 10 places and 9 places apiece, with Drew Cam losing the most with 7. Yeah, you're right, Alex, it looks like we are having another lap. I was hoping, due to the short amount of laps we've actually got left, that the safety car might just come in, even though those last 2 cars hadn't caught up. I have seen it do that before when there's only a few laps of the race left. But unfortunately that doesn't seem to be the case. So we are going to be having one more lap of safety car, which means we will get a 2-lap sprint, because after this the safety car will not come back out again. In the last 2 or 3 laps, it never comes back out again. I've seen 4 cars crash on the last lap and they haven't bothered, or the second to last lap, and they don't bother within the last few laps with the safety car. So we are going to have Angry Dutch Guy leading, Connor, then A. Riley, then Grimmy, Lewis, Opeli, Joseph, Mad Max, Sir Jake, Quick Killers, Drew Cam and Blumchum. And that will be the 12 drivers for the last 2 laps of racing. As we do have safety car in this lap. So that's good. That means we will get going very, very shortly and we will have 2 laps of racing. So now the question is, can Angry Dutch Guy hold off Connor for 2 laps, or can Connor come out at him? But there will be no DRS to help either driver. So I'm going to sit on board with Connor and see what kind of launch he gets here. Don't want to get too close to the back of Angry Dutch Guy just yet. Just weigh his time up, because the last thing he wants now is to crash in a broken wing. Just waiting for Angry Dutch Guy to go. Who's not yet, he's holding it right out on them. As he goes now though. But he didn't get much of a leap there, as we seem to have had an issue with RP Lai. Oh, sneeze, that wasn't a good time to sneeze. And it does appear we've just lost Quick Killers whilst I was saying that too. As Mad Max appears to be losing positions as well. As Lewis and Joseph just switch positions. Oh, Christ, that was really hard to see what was going on as I sneezed then. So, Joseph looks to be making a move here on Lewis as well. But no, he's thought the better of it. I thought he might go for the late break into the chicane. He chose not to. So far so good for Angry Dutch Guy though. He is holding off Connor. He's got around about 9/10, almost a second now of the lead. So Jake there sitting on the back of Joseph now. He's going to be thinking about a move, if he can get good enough traction out of the corner. With a lap to go, these guys, if they want to make it happen, it has to be now, as Lewis picks up a penalty, 3 seconds. That is going to have completely screwed him now, because there is a bunch of cars within 3 seconds of him. If we look at the leader's time, so Lewis is there, 2.9, 3 seconds behind the leader, which will drop him to P9. Blumchum is 4.8, which puts him well within the 3-second margin. So Lewis will drop to P9 unless he can pull something out. Who has got the fastest lap? Blumchum has got the fastest lap currently. So Jake now picks up 3 seconds as well, so he will drop down as well. So that means Lewis will be into P8 and so Jake will be P9. As Grimmy and A. Riley were just having a little battle there. Oh, that was a big corner cut from Lewis. I just saw in the background. But he didn't gain any position or anything there, so as Grimmy is looking very, very closely at the back of A. Riley now. He's got a little bit less DRS left than A. Riley's got, and A. Riley's still on his. Everyone's safely through Ascari for the last time, or at least the front runners are anyway. As Grimm is going for that move down the inside. As we do have a yellow flag, we've lost someone. Seems to be RP Liars had an issue. Yeah, it looks like he's picked up wing damage as DRS is enabled just as we finish the race. So, unfortunately, I did miss Angry Dutch Guy there crossing the line because there was something else going on at the back. But he did win by almost 2 seconds with Connor P2, A. Riley P3, Grimmy P4, Joseph P5, Blumton P6, Lewis P7, and I didn't catch the rest. I was trying to read it off the stream. So I will just recap that once we get the official list back up in a moment. But that's the second time of the night that Connor's got himself up onto the podium. Unfortunately for him, it's not the top step this time. But he did drive a good race and managed to get P2, so still a pretty good result. So then, just to confirm, as I was saying, we do have Angry Dutch Guy in P1, who does actually have the fastest lap with a 1:22.475. Connor in P2, A. Riley in P3, Grimmy in P4, Joseph P5, Blumton P6, Lewis P7, Sir Jake P8, Drew Cam P9, Mad Max P10, and they will all be reversed for the feature race. And then we have RP Live P11, Quick Killers, DNF'd just before the end of the race there. It says +2 laps. That was as the safety car come in on lap 11. Ryan P13, Mr. JC P14, Error P15 and Jimmer P16 all DNF'd. So that is that rounded up for the sprint qualifying and the sprint race. We shall be back in around about 5 or 10 minutes and we shall get back underway for the feature race, which should be 26 or 27 laps, I believe. So I shall see you shortly.